And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. Welcome to First Sip, the place that you come every single morning, get your mind right. And we're excited. It's Friday. My co-host comes flying in. I didn't break my pace because I knew that Freddie Blanton would be here. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning. Hola. Buenos dias. ¿Cómo está, señor?
Wow. You must have eaten Mexican food last night.
How did you know?
That sounded like a chimichanga. Russ Hammond in the house. Good morning, Russ. Red Wing Shoes, Spartanburg, South Carolina. That's where the 2025 crit is going to be today.
Is that today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the tents are being set up, and yeah. Have you ever been out to the crit, Fred?
Of course.
Yeah.
You're going to be down there doing something, aren't you?
We are. We are going to be walking around. We're going to be talking. I'm going to have this kind of a larger microphone.
Whoa.
By the way, can you hear me right now?
I can definitely hear you right now. Did something happen? Do we have computer issues fixed?
I think we do. Now, that being said, I did.
You just muted yourself.
Wow. See, there's. Wow.
How ironic.
Hey, I tell you
Happy
what.
Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday. And yes, we're going to be down at the crit. We're going to be talking to people with a big microphone. We're going to be excited about Spartanburg because we should be. This is the easiest excitement. Like, there's no faking it, Fred, right? I mean, Spartanburg's taking off. We got bicycles and speed downtown. We've got 112 vendors.
Yeah, I mean, just downtown, we got bicycles and baseball within a week of each other. That's impressive.
Exactly. So a lot to be excited about. I'm excited to get down there and talk to some people. It's always interesting. This reminds me of a conference. So I've done a couple of conferences now where I've walked booth to booth, and that's always interesting because very often in those conferences and those types of deals, you know, everybody sits up and then we just kind of stand there. We don't connect with each other. We stand in our things. So this will be kind of similar, and then you get to learn a little bit about each company that you stop at.
Yeah, and it's easy to get attention when you have a camera and a microphone. And
hey,
there's going to be a lot of people down there that want some attention.
Yeah. You know, I remember, and I may have mentioned this, one of Grant Cardone's books that always stuck out to me. He was at a conference. He had something going on, and he wanted to tell people about it, and he saw that somebody had a microphone at the conference. And I can't remember which book, but he talked about he was nervous, but he knew, well, if I've got that microphone in my hand, I don't have to worry about getting everybody's attention. That was the thing. And so anytime we are looking to get our message out there get more attention, it's going to require some uncomfortable. But he grabbed that microphone and he said, hey, can I have everybody's attention, please?
Well, here's a fact. It's not always the best, but the best known.
Now there you go. We've been doing some call it like it is. Is it more skill or luck when it comes to success?
Skill, persistence, discipline, which
Hey,
may put you in the right spot.
everything's a little mix of both, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, it. You know, I do think the right attitude, taking a lot of action, and working on maybe your technical skills. But it's a big mix of everything. You and I were talking a lot about somebody this morning, about somebody that you follow and I like a lot, Coach Burt.
Yep.
Tell me who Coach Burt is.
Coach Burt is a former high school girls basketball coach who dove deep into the 7 habits of highly successful people. He would teach his girls on the basketball team this. And, he went so far as even if the parents would mention, hey, could you work with my girl a little bit more? She's got a lot of potential. The first thing he would ask the parents is, well, do you think she's watching you reach your own potential? What do you think about that?
I love that one.
Yeah, he built a national championship program and then decided, hey, I'm kind of maxed out here, but I'm a pretty good coach. So he went, made himself available, wrote a book, and at his first speaking event, which was at a business in his community, he didn't even negotiate a fee. When it was done, the guy walked up to him, pulled a check out, and he said, hey, thanks for coming. There's a little something for you. And he looked at it and he said, you sure this is right? I think this is more money than I make in a year as a basketball coach.
Woo!
And then the light switch went off. Hey, there's some money here.
Yeah. And an opportunity to really change the game, because he went from a basketball coach to multiple houses, didn't he?
Yeah, and his idea and strategy with houses is, hey, I have this big lodge in Tennessee. Well, that's where they hold events. So it's a business. He has this house in Watercolor, Florida. They hold couple retreats there. It's events. So all of the real estate he buys is built into the business.
Oh, I like it. Well, I did a little, I looked up this morning. I love this quote. I saw so many things. So before I mention his quote, I've got to say this. When people send us content, there's so much content out there, Fred, isn't there?
Yes, that's why you have to decide who's right for you, because you can consume too much and be a content zombie and never get anything accomplished.
I agree with that. And so when you find someone that's playing the game at a different level, a level that you want to be at, and I don't think it has to be granular, but you have to, from a personal development standpoint, this person shares some commonalities with you. They have some traits that relate to you. Well, I say all that to say, when you sent that to me this morning, you sent me a little Coach Burt clip. And at first, I just I just watched it quickly, because that's what we do. I saw that it was a longer video.
Yep.
And of course, I've got content and things on my mind. But my point in saying all that, when I sat down and watched it, I actually got a lot from that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it takes that. I want to read this right here, but since I've got this computer working so well, we better do the clip.
Quote of the day. Quote of the day.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When I read this one, I said, wow, this is, I love this.
Now, did you say it out loud or internally?
I said, wow, like that.
Okay, out loud.
Yeah.
Were you at Konnichiwa when you were reading this?
No,
Oh, okay.
but I was above it.
Okay.
When I don't know what to do, I do something. When I don't know what to do, I do something. What's he talking about?
When in doubt, take an action.
When in doubt, take an action. Amen on that.
Go with your gut.
Very often, the doing, the messing around and effing around and figuring it out, we learn so much by just getting that. Well, you talked about it earlier this week. I think it was reps.
Yeah.
And you learn things from doing. So you and I started this program. We didn't have a real direction. We weren't sure exactly what it would look like, but we started doing things and we learned some things, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've learned a lot about people and what it does. Here's the thing about First Sip. Just what we did one yesterday, and I did a little clip, but we talked about how I didn't lose my temper, or I stopped losing my temper, but could have led to that simply because, well, we planted a seed of positivity. We plant a seed in the beginning of the day. And we talk about energy, and we talk about, sometimes it's repetitive and we quote it, and it's different ways of saying the same thing, but it doesn't matter. We need those seeds in the beginning of the day so that they grow through our day. And we think, oh, that's right. I mean, sometimes I'll think, wait a minute, I can't talk about doing this and then not do it, whatever that thing is. So the show itself forces me into doing things that I should.
Yeah, it puts the proper pressure on you to make the right decision. And if you feel your temperature rising, that seed gets a little water on it, and you're like, whoa, let me calm down. If you see yourself overreacting to something you can't control, all right, on First Sip 3 days ago, this exact scenario came up. Let me think and talk myself through this. It's
Absolutely.
a big deal. It seems small right now, but when you're in the thick of it, it's a big deal.
Absolutely. That's something that we talked about. Right in the moment, things seem very, very heavy, and we're going to need something to lighten the load. And sometimes these things are reminders. Hey, is this compared to, this is a big deal compared to what?
Yeah.
Compared to what? And as soon as we set that scale in and we're able to say, well, maybe it's one person. That's one person. We're going to let one person live in our head. We're going to let one event live in our head. There's 8 billion humans. There's events happening all the time. The farther we get from that moment, our load will lighten, our perspective will change. What we thought was bad could end up being great. It could be the greatest thing that's ever happened to us. So I think that Coach Burt, talking about energy, talking about doing things, figuring it out, planting those seeds early in the morning so we have something to overcome when we will be challenged every single day, won't we, Fred?
Yeah. And you know what's unique about him? In that video, he says he does 35 personal touches a day. He reaches out to a minimum of 35 people every day.
One of the things, we will go through this because he says, call new people. Every single day, he is contacting new people. This is super important. Yesterday, I was talking about shooters do what, Fred? A shooter shoots, a connector connects, a hunter hunts. Always, it's that prey mentality. You're always looking, where can I take action next? So many of his stories, I've noticed, they're just by taking action, and then they stumble into doing more. He gets himself at a seat at the table.
Exactly. That's what you're looking for.
Proximity. We're the tip of the spear. We've got to get out there and take action. Hey, final thought, Fred.
I dare somebody watching this live or the replay make 35 personal touches today.
Woo,
and make 10 of the 35 to new people.
Amen.
If you do it,
have a great Friday. Antarctic Mike, your job description as a salesperson, meet new people. It's exactly what I'm doing today. And let's roll. Bye-bye.